2018. It's been away for a few years, but it's back again. And let's check out some of the stuff that's going on here.
Let's hear a big hand for everyone here, huh? All these guys, thank you. Okay, but I know what you're thinking. How can we choose between such a steaming hot bunch?
For several years. I was so excited. I just found out about it just a few days ago. Tell me.
We just found out about it ourselves. We put this on. Basically, we thought of it last Saturday morning. We said, let's have a hunt. Here we all are. No, we've been planning it for quite a while. It's been 6 years since we had it in any hunt in Florida, and downtown Miami turned out to be a great place to hold it. So.
And any word as far as we're going to have another one next year? Is it here to stay?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know we were going to have it this year, so I hope so. All I can say is I hope so.
The Herald Hunt is kind of like a scavenger hunt. So you're going around looking at all these weird productions, clues, and you have to use the special section of the Sunday newspaper in order to figure it out. It's got a map, and it's got all sorts of weird little clues and fake ads, things like that. And everything that we're looking at here, we're trying to figure out a number. Everything's going to point to a number of some sort. So it's Saturday, the day before the Herald Hunt. You always want to first get an early edition of the paper so you can go over everything. See what we got here. Some articles. Sometimes they have ads and things that could be clues for the actual puzzle. This seems suspicious. It looks like that'll probably have something to do with it. The thing about the Herald Hunt, it's very numerical. Everything's numbers, as you'll see in a moment. Okay, some explanations about it. So it's been a few years since they've had it. It's amazing they brought it back. I wasn't sure they were. Here's the map. So this is the American Airlines Arena. Bayside Marketplace would be off to the side, but that's not part of it. And there's all sorts of little clues here. I mean, it could be everything from where someone's hand is pointing. I mean, there's numbers, as you see there, to a G, 13. All sorts of different things. You never know. That arrow could be meaning something. This could mean something. You never know until you actually go to do it. This is what I was talking about with numbers. So, all of these clues mean absolutely nothing. You could sit there reading them. They're real silly, wacky. Everything you're looking for are going to be answers, and you're going to circle one of these clues. But they're still not going to make any sense until they give you a final clue that somehow is a key for unsolving these. So it could be something where you're taking certain words of here, and it's telling you to do something else, go somewhere, call some number, something like that. Yeah, this one seems suspicious too. What is that, Whole Foods? Whatever makes you whole. Yeah. And it could be a real ad, but it could be a real ad that they're also utilizing for this. These seem like regular ads over here. And that's it. So, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see on the map. What does that say? 8, O, 6N, 3G, 2N, and then the main stage.
age where basic food items are all mixed up and confused about who they are and where they belong. So I want you guys to do a little exercise. Ask yourselves, what other foods share my distinguishing features? And ultimately, what food group do you belong to? So get on out here, mix it up, mingle, check each other out, and look for what you have in common that the other foods don't share. And recognize others like themselves. Remember, the sum is greater than the parts.
So much greater than the parts.
You up there, Steve. Okay? You concentrate.
Over there on that stage, there was a cheese wheel. So I'm seeing right here, Swiss cheese. There was a bagel, and there were donuts. And I believe she said the sum of them all. Okay, I tried just doing the sum of those numbers. I got 1099, but that's not a number here, so something's wrong with that.
I call koozie. Woo! Koozie it is! So go ahead and pick the koozie out. Keep your beverages nice and chilled.
Purification techniques. That's all the pose is, purification techniques. You'll pay close attention to the form of the pose. I'm going to do 5 poses. You'll pay close attention to the form and follow my instructions to the letter. Okay? Here we go. Simhasana lion pose. Preparation for Siddhasana camel pose. Wide-legged forward bend. awesome Lord of the Dance. I wish you the best of luck. Namaste. If you're still confused, you can Google it. And come back in 5 minutes. If you're still needing hints. Remember yoga when you start to stress out about these clues?
Good enough for me. Welcome to the unveiling of the definitive list of the sexiest presidents alive, or dead. After years of careful study, we can now boil 227 years of American presidential history down into who has the best buns. We're very lucky tonight to present the 6 sexiest presidents of all. A very hot crew indeed. First out, hailing from the great state of Arkansas, and yes, a place called Hope, the 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton. Next out, a big star from the Lone Star State of Texas, the 43rd President, George W. Bush. Our third honoree doesn't really need an introduction, but he'll cry fake news if I don't give him one. So put your hands together for the Orange Man himself, a native New Yorker, the 45th President of the United States, Donald John Trump.
I am the sexiest president. Believe me, everybody says so.
If you're wondering how anyone could top these 3 beauties, just wait till you see the next one. From the Old Dominion state of Virginia, numero uno, the very first president of this great democracy. And if you don't think he's sexy, check out his monument up in the city they named after him. George, I can't tell a lie, Washington. Hard act to follow, I know. But our next winner is really something special. Hailing from the Palmetto State of South Carolina, a man who really filled out his military uniform, the 7th President of these United States, Andrew Jackson. Maybe next time. And finally, last but certainly not least, a man who proved he could fill out a bathing suit during summers as a lifeguard in small-town Illinois, star of stage and screen, the 40th President of the United States, Ronnie Reagan! Give these men a big hand, please, a round of applause. Okay, but seriously, I know what you're thinking. How can we choose between such a steaming hot bunch? But I'm not making this order up, folks. They are lined up exactly the way they are in the text. I promise you. I'm telling you everything you need to know right here, folks. But you've got a lot of competitors, so you might want to take a shot and text ahead. Get the picture? Text ahead.
And I mean that bigly.
He means that bigly. Thank you, everyone. Please remember, going up these steps will not help you solve the puzzle. muzzle, and we will repeat it in another few minutes. Thank you.
This was a prize if you were able to get the Herald Hunt done faster than you know, if you were able to do it within 5 minutes, but nobody did it in 5 minutes, so nobody won this. You get a tattoo on your butt, it's a Tatoosh. Hi, do you have a clue?
I do have a clue.
Thank you.
There you go.
We will now state the final clue. Use only the capital letters.
Okay. That really wasn't that bad. I want to start by thanking some people because this is an all-volunteer effort. First, I want to thank you guys. We didn't know who was going to come out. It's been a while. Thank you for coming out for the hunt. Thank you especially to the new people who didn't know what they were getting into. Now you know. And thank you. I want to thank all the hunt volunteers. Almost everybody wearing a t-shirt was a volunteer on here today. A couple in particular, the woman who organizes the whole hunt. Where is Elaine? Where's Elaine? She's always off somewhere working. Her name is Elaine Pasikoff. She's amazing. Please give Elaine a round of applause. There she is. Sylvia Lario, come on up. Without her, there would have been no hunt this year. She was the person. She's the person who convinced the Miami Herald and the Downtown Development Authority to bring the hunt back. We didn't think it was going to happen, and it happened. My assistant, Judy Smith, who is still working very hard over there. Raymond Duenas, where's Raymond? Raymond was our logistical guy, and he's probably out doing something logistical. Raymond, thank you, wherever you are. Okay. Alice Robertson and Ken Hills from the Miami Downtown Development Authority for doing this and also buying me some wine the other night. Karina Mestre and Jose Solana from Bayfront Park Management Trust. Samantha Castellanos, Paola Kohlberg on Alicia Marks, Tishley from Schwartz Media Strategies, Victoria Sampaio-Coster from Compass,
one of our sponsors, Regina Lewis from Bayside Marketplace, Erica Glick from Topgolf Miami Gardens, Jose Quinones, Javier Cortesano, and Amanda Magistad from Philip and Patricia Bloss Museum of Science over there, which gave us their space for a giant pencil. Amanda Oquan Osman from Costa del Este Resort and Spa, which the first place winners will be going to. Lorianne Diaz, Lorenzo Butler, and Cassandra Siegler from Miami Heat. Gino and Dan Wollensheim from the North-South Productions. Tom Mitchell of Super Wheels and Reflections Productions. This is the giant roller skate that has been in every hunt ever, and I still don't know why, but we're so glad it's here because it sort of reassures us that we're like the hunt, you know, the giant roller skate. Otis and Barbara Sweat from Otis Sweat Illustrated. Otis draws our map down here. We love. He does the greatest job, and we put Otis through hell changing things on that map every year. Susie Cruz from Cruz Creative Studio. Patrice Bailey and the student actors from New World School of the Arts. Those guys are incredible. Two special thanks. One, Andy Wenzel. Andy is the guy who, right here, Andy runs the TropicHunt.com site from back when it was called the Tropic Hunt. Always pronounce it carefully. And Andy has been on every hunt and has maintained the archives and knows more about the hunt than we do. He never wins the hunt, but he knows more about the hunt than anybody else. And the other one, where's Blake? Blake Ross. Blake. Come here, Blake. Come up on stage. This guy, he designed one of our puzzles, the one that involved using the internet to get the picture. This guy did that. He's very smart. Right? Okay, Blake. He agrees with that. Okay. Tom, is it okay if I begin now with the solutions? I'm going to explain the main 5 puzzles, and Tom is going to explain the end game to you. Okay, we'll start with the big head over there, the sexiest president alive or dead. You had 6 presidents who were introduced to you. Each one was always introduced by his number. Bill Clinton, number 42. George Bush, number 43. Number 43. Donald Trump, 45. George Washington, 1. Oh, yeah, thank you. Donald Trump, by the way, was played by Rick Hirsch, who is the managing editor of the Miami Herald. And he's found a new career here today. George Washington, president number 1. Andrew Jackson, number 7. Thank you to the person who corrected us when we said 17. A person came up and said, I'm a history buff. Are you doing that wrong on purpose? No, we grew. And Ronald Reagan, number 40. So the narrator, who was a guy named Gabe from the New World School, had the presidents line up in the order I just gave you their numbers. This president made a big deal about you had to text ahead, and when he said text ahead, Donald Trump would say, we mean that bigly. So he kept talking about texting ahead. Right behind these people was a gigantic head. So you had to text that, take a picture of that head and text it to the number that the presidents were giving you in order there, which was 424345170. If you did that, if you texted a picture of that head, what did you get back? You got the same head back, but wearing Abe Lincoln's hat and Abe Lincoln's beard, and that's what Blake did. I don't know how he did that, but he did it. If you didn't, it was magic.
Yeah, somehow. Anyway, so you knew the answer was Abe Lincoln, who was president number 16 was the answer, and that clue was, why do you eat dog food? How many people got that one right? Almost everybody. The yoga class. Sujal Patel, who was our yoga guy, he was terrific, we thought, and he also was worn out at the end of the day. He said, there's something really isn't right to do the same yoga pose over and over again on the same side, which is what we made him do. So he's probably never going to do yoga again for the rest of his life. He's probably already drinking beer and gaining weight right now. But he gave us a good day out of his life. Anyway, we gave you 5 poses. Tom will show you. He gave you 5 poses out of 10 shown on this flyer, and he made a big point of you had to focus on his form and follow his instructions to the letter. And basically he was forming letters with his body.
And if you had any trouble seeing that, you could follow the photographs that he provided of himself doing those poses. He formed 5 letters. What were they? NLMVP. And if you Googled NLMVP, or maybe some of you already knew, the National League Most Valuable Player last year was John Carlos Stanton, who used to be back with the Marlins back before we decided to improve our team by getting rid of everybody who was any good at the sport of baseball. As part of our rebuilding program here, I will be starting at center field for the Marlins this year. Anyway, NLMVP, so all you had to do was Google it, and even though he has now gone to the Yankees, he kept the same number. What's his number? 27. Who didn't get? No. How many people got 27? All right. And that clue was sink into a big goopy pit of goop. Moving right along.
You can tell how highbrow the hunt is by the nature of these clues.
The grid pattern over here. Okay. You got a handout with a bunch of white squares. Here, Tom will show it to you.
This beautiful assistant.
You were given that handout with a bunch of weird-looking blacked-out marks and a pencil in the upper right-hand corner, and it said, "Look familiar. If not, look around, then fill in spaces in these places." If you looked around, you should see the same pencil. It was over there on the Frost Museum of Science, next to a grid pattern of windows. The windows are blacked out in different places from the grid pattern that you were handed. The key was to fill in your grid pattern with the windows where they were blacked out. And if you did that, it formed a number. What was that number? 359 is the number it formed. How many people got that one? All right. You were very good. And that clue corresponded with show every bit of your gown. Okay, the next one. Tom, here's the Doggy Art Show. You were given over there, there was a display of line art drawn by a guy named Eric, what's his name? Eric Shansky. And he drew a bunch of dogs, kind of whimsical line drawings of dogs over there. And you were also given this price sheet, which showed the same drawings, each with a number associated with it. All those numbers were potentially correct answers to the puzzle. And we said on the instructions to you, one of these works is different from the others. Its fundamental structure is drawn from real life. This defining difference can be seen by any viewer who finds the right perspective from which to compare the work to the artist's inspiration. So we said it was drawn from real life. We noted that it was sponsored by Compass Realty. And we said speed of compass. If you look about 140 yards to the northwest, you might begin to find the perspective you need. We were telling you to go look at this sculpture here. If you look at that sculpture from the right angle, one of these pictures lined up exactly with the lines in that sculpture. Which one was it? $1,200, the $1,200 doggy sculpture. How many people got that one? Okay. Clue 1200, the clue was, I love going as Tubby. And finally, the Food Identity Conference, which was put on by the New Age of the New World School students. No two doing the same, no two performances the same. Basically, the speaker said, here we have a bunch of foods who need to find their identity. They need to find a common feature. And the kids would all run around looking to find somebody. Then finally, 3 of the foods would always come together, found something in common. They were a bagel, a donut, and some Swiss cheese. They were the 3 foods that had a common feature. What is that feature? Holes. So they're whole foods. And the narrator said, but the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Everybody, I assume, looked at the Hunt magazine and saw there was a whole food ad that had donuts, bagels, and Swiss cheese. If you added those 3 numbers, though, it didn't add up to a potential solution. You had to add one more whole food. What was it? Cheerios. There was one more whole food in the ad. If you added that, what did you get? So I hear you. $13.98 is what you should have got. Wait, some people didn't get that. Just for the record, this was Tom's puzzle. But I thought it was a good puzzle. You didn't get that.
Is this just because you all couldn't add? Is that
How many people did get it? I don't know what the dopes are complaining about. Okay, so that's it, and that one gave you 2 bad bills. Okay, so now you had 5 clues, none of which at that point should have made any sense to you at all. At least our hope was that they wouldn't. And at 3 p.m., Tom gave you the final clue. And I will turn the microphone over to Tom. Oh, you already have a microphone.
And as I said many times, the final clue was, we will now state the final clue, use only the capital letters. And we emphasize state for a reason, because we were talking about the state capital of Florida, which is... So if you use only the letters that appeared in Tallahassee from the 5 clues, and you went through the 5 clues using only T, A, L, H, S, and E, what you got was heat, stat sheet, least tall.
Now, wait, how many people got that far? Okay, heat, stat sheet, least tall.
Okay. In the magazine, there was a heat promo,
a heat stat sheet
with the roster, and the least tall player on that roster was 6'1", number 14,
Derek Walton Jr.
Derek Walton Jr. And if you looked on the map, you saw a bunch of basketball players standing around. Basketball fans, excuse me. Definitively not actual Heat players. But as basketball fans wearing the numbers of their favorite players, and one of them had number 14 on it. And if you looked on the map, it was situated right across that canal there by the Heat Arena on the sidewalk.
This is why all those people started running that way after a little while.
So, if you ran there were 4 people standing up on crates, giving out an additional clue sheet. But alas, that clue was nothing but a random collection of letters. So what you had to notice was that the people handing them out had 4 t-shirts on. And those t-shirts had the names of states on them. And that was Florida, Alabama, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. And if you added the state capitals of those 3 states to Florida's state capital and used all the letters in those 4 states, what you got was text stinks to Rumi Bayman. Now, who's Rumi Bayman, you may ask? It's nobody, but if you use the telephone keyboard to spell out Rumi Bayman and you texted stinks to that, you won. And we actually have...
Well, you can't be cheering because you didn't win, did you?
Okay. So there were actually quite a few people who texted that who didn't make the first 3. So I want to congratulate those people. And good job, and you lose.
So we want to bring up the winning teams. Are they here? Do we have these folks?
Okay, the 3rd place team is the Great Escape Room.
The Great Escape Room team. Where are they? Great Escape Room. I saw those folks. They got t-shirts on.
Total experience passes to Philip and Patricia.
Here they come. Great Escape Room team. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. I think these people are local. Where are you guys from? Miami. They're from Miami. Yay! Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. 15 years they've been doing this. The Great Escape Room team. These people are smarter than you. Well, except for a couple of you.
And the 2nd place team, the winners of 2 tickets to the March 19th Denver Nuggets versus Miami Heat game, and court culture swag, whatever that means. The Narwhals.
The Narwhals! Ladies and gentlemen, where are the Narwhals? Where are you guys from? Miami! He's got the Miami Heat team, yeah. Miami. Fort Lauderdale. Okay, that's close enough. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. The Narwhals, ladies and gentlemen.
2018 Herald Hunt is Team T-Rex.
Team T-Rex.
Two-night getaway for two at celebrity-owned hotel.
It's going to be a really crowded room.
Beach Resort and Spa.
Where you guys from? Boca. They're from that's close enough. Close enough. Boca. They would live in Miami if they could afford it. Boca, T-Rex. Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Guys, a lot of people up here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Those are the winners in the 2018 Herald Hunt. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys were great. It was a wonderful day. Even the lady with the boo sign. If you'd have spent more time on their puzzles, you might have done better. But you know you were making a sign, weren't you? Thanks again, everybody. You guys are fantastic.
So, Andy, how was it this year compared to all other years?
Well, let me tell you, it was great to have it back. The weather was beautiful today. We had a great crowd. The initial puzzles, I think, coming back after 5 years, being a little bit easier, was good to kind of bring the crowd back into it. Even though, as it turns out, I didn't get one of those puzzles, that Whole Foods puzzle. But beyond that, we got into the end game. I ran to get that flyer at the end. We just didn't get all the letters that we needed for the state capitol. So we saw text too, and we didn't get any farther. So it was a lot of fun. Great to be here again, and I'm hoping for next year.
Awesome. Can I get the back of that shirt?
Sure, absolutely. It's now wrong. Now I need to make it 0-30.
Okay, well, thanks, Andy.
No problem.
Wow, that's a steady cam.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not. Oh, let's see. Yeah. Anyway.